I started drinking when I was 14 years old. I grew up on a border town in Texas. It was a good place for a young alcoholic because I could start drinking at a very young age across the border in Mexico. I could take about $10 and I could go into to any bar that I wanted to without an ID. And it was really fun. Alcohol really took the nerves away from me, and it kind of took away that nervous disposition that I felt that I'd had for a very long time.
My name's Christine. I'm an alcoholic, and I came into Alcoholics Anonymous when I was 17. I grew up in a really good family, and from the get-go I noticed that there was something kind of different about me. I had this sort of nervous disposition about me. When I took that first drink, I felt that ease and comfort. I ended up drinking the first time I drank to a blackout. I started throwing up and just running around and feeling free for the first time.
My name is Matt and I'm an alcoholic. I got sober when I was 24. Before I knew it, I don't know really when it started or how it started, but I started drinking after work. I started drinking before class in college. I was pretty much a daily drinker. I would drink before class. I would take a Gatorade bottle, fill it with gin because it was clear, and drink during class. But I was blacked out during some finals. There was 9-page exams where I was taking where I wouldn't remember anything that I had answered. But I was drinking by 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning to help with the shakes and the hangovers before my class.
By the time I was about 15, 16 years old, I was drinking every day. Everything would have continued the way that it was going if I didn't get in trouble with the law for the first time when I was 18. You know, I tried to stop for the first time, and I found it interesting. Like, I always thought that I was the one driving the car, that I could control it.
After that first drunk, I ended up getting in trouble with the cops and my parents. I didn't care. It gave me that feeling that everything was going to be okay. And through my second year of high school, I had started drinking so much that I didn't care about school, and I didn't care about being on club soccer teams, and I didn't care about getting straight A's anymore. It was just about drinking, and I dropped out of high school.
During all this, I tried to stop myself. I tried to cool off and was never able to. I bought myself a pint of gin. Got to the club. I remember ordering my second drink. Next thing I know, I woke up in the hospital with a catheter, with IV, hooked up to a breathing machine. I talked to him about it, told him that I would try to be a little more responsible. About a week and a half later, I decided to buy a bottle of gin and have a little bit before class because it was the end of the semester and it was our last test. So I celebrated before the test started, celebrated during the test, and celebrated after the test. I woke up in an ambulance on the way to the hospital again. Once again, I had to open my eyes to my parents standing around the bed.
I got in trouble with the law again shortly thereafter, and it made it more imperative that I stop, and I couldn't stop, so I got in trouble again and again, and I ended up completely broken. I mean, my story is that I was ready to die at about 18 years old. I really didn't see a purpose in living. I couldn't really picture a life without alcohol. It felt like my life was over, and when I was driving up to that treatment center, I remember wanting to jump out of the back of the car while we were going in the back roads of Texas and just running. I didn't have the best attitude. I was kind of a snot-nosed brat who thought he knew everything. I just hit a bottom in sobriety at about day 5 or 6.
It wasn't working anymore. I couldn't stop what I was doing, and I didn't want to do it anymore. And all I knew at that time is that kids went to rehab, and I couldn't believe that I had ended up there so quickly and so young. But what I found is I found a place that I felt I belonged to. I found people I related to. And at first for me in recovery, it was hard to be young and think I was never going to have fun again.
Someone was sharing their experience, strength, and hope, and I identified with him. And he said that his life changed by working the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and that he was able to stay sober and that he was able to be happy in sobriety. And that's what I didn't think was possible. I thought maybe I could stay sober if I kind of stayed away from my old friends and got separated from it, but I didn't think I'd ever be happy. And he kind of talked about living free from alcohol, being happy, and living a useful life.
And so finally I said, okay, got 40 days under my belt, and I've met amazing people. Didn't think I'd be able to stop because I tried on my own. I do enjoy them. I don't know what it is. I just, everyone's like me, it seems. We all relate.
The biggest thing for me is that through Alcoholics Anonymous, I've learned to be happy and to love myself.
And I got a sponsor early, and I tried to do as best as I could. And sometimes that wasn't very good, and sometimes it was good. But in the end, I've been able to stay sober for the last 7 years, and I've lived a really a happy life. And I really thought all the fun was over when I got here, and my life has been so good since then.